Lifestyles of a native in a nation filled with hate. It's getting harder nowadays to put food up on my plate, so I'm hungry. Steady on the grind to eat a beat, writing scripture for the future, taking kids right off the street. The time has arrived to unify and stand together. In the midst of all this chaos, we'll survive another winter, like we always do, because history repeats. Let it echo through the valley. What I write is what I preach. So unique, my speech designed to teach and reach the youth a piece of you inside the minds of peeps so they could keep it true. Steady on a hustle with the bustle on the back to the chicken dances. What up? Let's bring the culture back. Satisfactory scripture for my faculty, for family. I got a team, the realist, how we kill it ain't no fantasy. Insanity's demanding me to be the man I am. And the band in me is telling me to be the man I can. Voiceover, pen to the paper until the end. Dark souls finding the light within what is said. This is for the people. Unification is needed. Stop the infighting. Now is the time for us to believe it. Hello. Tansei. Amba washte. Hola. Bonjour. Those are the only places that I've traveled to where I could say hello. My name is Brad Bellegarde, and I grew up here in Regina and went to school here. I grew up actually just across the way from Victoria. So I didn't do this yesterday. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to tell you my day-to-day life. I grew up coast to coasting without leaving my city limits. Passing prose was a passion, so I had to start a beginning. From my front step, I'd head west. I'd pass Winnipeg to hit Quebec, collecting pounds and hells from not those average type of fellows, never tested, even called shotgun when arrested, and when released, hit the same spot like they never left it. The next intersection, I'd pass Montreal to hit Toronto, pound fist with stoop sitters and watch people take some bong loads. Right to me, but most consider to say they were the wrong road. Since I chose them, I knows men many, mano a mano. There's no nice pieces to see, only sets and paint bombs, only officers, not offices, from Ottawa to St. John's. So I grew up in that area, and I spent my summers actually, I was always the only First Nations kid in my class. In school, there was like 8 of us from grade 1 to grade 8, and I was always that odd man out. I never really felt like I belonged. So I had some friends that were like, I'm going to Disneyland, summer holidays, woo. I was like, I'm going to Germany to visit my grandparents. Brad, what are you doing? I'm going to Carry the Kettle First Nation. Oh, that sounds cool. Where is that? It's about 45 minutes east of Regina. And every morning, my grandma would give me an ice cream pail. And I go into schools and I tell this story a lot. And they're like, wow, that's awesome. You got ice cream every day. It was empty. I'm like, empty? Yeah, because my grandma would send me out into the prairie, and I'd go pick Saskatoon berries, and I couldn't come back. And it would be like, one for the bucket, one for my belly, one for the bucket, one for my belly. So I could say I ate healthy every morning. And I was growing up in Saskatchewan, it's hockey, always hockey. I'm going to be a hockey star. Then I got to high school, and I realized there's a lot of hockey players out there. And the idea that I was actually looking at when I was thinking about rap, like I got to grade 9, and I met somebody. I actually just seen him this morning, ironically enough, grabbing a coffee. He's the guy that challenged me to my first rap battle. Like, write your rap down. This is before rap was everywhere. It's like high school was like, yeah, Tragically Hip. Woo, Moxie Frubus. Spirit of the West. You going to Spirit of the West? Like, Dr. Dre, anybody? Like, nope. I didn't really know what rap was, but I went home and I tried it. I gave it a shot. I wrote down my rhyme, came back the next day, he had one. And he's like, okay, I dig this, we could be friends. And we did that, that was our thing. I didn't really understand the idea of what hip hop was. I understood where I grew up and the social issues that were happening in my community. But as I got older, I found hip hop was more than just rap. I always thought rap was hip hop. But I started uncovering the idea behind hip hop. Where did it come from? It started in a marginalized, poverty-stricken community in the Bronx, in New York. There was crime, there was gangs, there was addictions, there's substance abuse. And I see all of these social issues in Indigenous communities and our inner cities. So I actually stuck with rap. I remember in high school, I used to tell my teachers, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like, yeah, right, Brad. I had one friend, he's like, I'm gonna be an accountant. What? 16 years old, you're going to be an accountant. Cool, you can count my money. And another friend, I'm gonna be a lawyer. He's a lawyer, and my other friend's an accountant. I'm a rapper. Ooh. And I was always telling I wasn't old school or new school, I was skip school. That was my motto. And I used to actually go to school, though, just hang out, just wouldn't go to class. And I stuck with it after high school. You know, it's tough. There's this term, the starving artist. That's true. That's real. It's hard. It's hard to make money, especially from Regina. Like Dr. Dre came from LA. You got Jay-Z from New York. Regina, where's that? I used to tell people I'm from Saskatchewan. Oh, what province is that in? But I got a call one day. This is so-and-so from Saskatchewan Arts Board. We're just wondering if you'd be interested in going to Vancouver to perform for the Olympics. Like, perform rap. I made it. Yes, I got the call. And I got interviewed by a journalist there. And along my journey in life, I met somebody who was a professor at the university, and she used to be like, come to my program, you'd be great. Get out of here, I'm gonna be a rapper. Kanye is a college dropout. Jay-Z didn't go to college. I don't need it. But I got interviewed, and the questions were so stereotypical and ignorant. No animosity towards that journalist. I think she just didn't learn what she needed to learn in school. It was like, as a First Nations person from Saskatchewan, how does it feel to be here in Vancouver? Like, we don't go there. You know, how does it feel to be a role model in Saskatchewan? Did you ever think you'd be performing at events this big? Well, yeah, I wanted to be like Dr. Dre, you know? Like, yeah, I did think like that. But it rubbed me the wrong way. And I got back to Regina, picked up that phone, and I called that person. And she's like, you could start in May. So I'm pleased to say, in 2.5 weeks from now, I will convocate with my Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and Indigenous Studies. So, in a way, rap brought me to education. And that's the power that it actually has, because I was always able to stick with writing raps. That was my dream. So what is hip-hop, though? Rap is just a language. Saskatchewan, we can look at this display here. Saskatchewan, there's 5 indigenous languages. There's Cree, Saulteaux, Nakota, Dakota, and Dene. MCs bring the language of hip-hop. There's the other elements, like the DJ brings the music, and in indigenous culture, we have the drum. There's b-boying, b-girling, breakdancing. There's all different types of powwow styles. There's men's traditional, women's fancy shawl, men's fancy dance. The list goes on, and there's all types of art. These are all identifiers. But a very, very influential individual in the world of hip-hop, his name is KRS-One, he said, knowledge of self. That's your identity. Got to keep it real. Now, I can't stand up here and rap about diamonds and Bentleys and Lamborghinis because I don't have any of those. I could rap about a 1988 Honda. It just doesn't have that much appeal. So I'm the first generation from my family that did not go to residential school. And in this world that we live in now, looking towards reconciliation, what role can I play in assisting youth? So I try to write my songs as a storyteller. Storytelling is deep-rooted in Indigenous culture. But I got to do it with some hip-hop. So when we look at the idea of reconciliation, I wrote a song. My parents went to Quappel Indian Residential School. And I wrote a song about their first day in school. So I'm going to share that with you. So I realized this experience that they told me, I sat down with them, this experience is something that every residential school survivor can relate to. It's the first night, your first day of school. You're 5 years old. Your parents leave. So these are pictures of my family. My father's there, my uncles are there, and a lot of very influential people in Saskatchewan are in this picture. I was playing outside, just a little man, with the world in the palm of my hand. A little kid living life with innocence. I remember everything with images. A red truck and a man in a black robe. They told my mom, call him Father Joe. So we called him Father Joe. I saw a tear in my mother's eye. I let out a cry, but I didn't know why. Piled up in the back of a truck, it had a flatbed on it and the road was rough. My hands are shaking, feeling sick to my stomach. Where are they taking us? Who could have done it? My body is nervous. Why am I leaving? What is the purpose? What is the reason? Now I'm just a lost little kid looking for my mother in this life that I live all alone on the road that I'm traveling, and all I really want to do is just go home. I remember walking through the doors of the school. It was cool in September. They gave us clothes, put numbers on us where it said, this'll be your name till you're home in December. They put powder on my head, Threw me in the shower, then lined us up for bed. They took my braid away. They took our braids away.
When I see you taken away, my heart becomes displaced. With broken shadows, no time for faith.
I'll never see you again. I know I'll never see you again.
I know I'll never see you again.
First night, cold night, feeling shackled to my bed. I remember hearing whispers from the kids, whispers across the room, talking things like, I hope we go home soon. And this is just the first night in my life. I think this is my worst night. I'm just a kid and they're testing my will. When we'd hear the jingle of the keys, we'd all lie still. I close my eyes just to block out where I'm living with an image on the cloud that I'm sitting. I wanna fly away. I wanna fly away. I can't cry, I can't sleep. They even took away a kid for trying to speak. I remember thinking that we'd never get to meet. Then my mind drifted off and fell asleep. My first morning brought food I couldn't eat, and if we didn't, we'd get punished in a seat. This is the life that I had to live in residential school as a kid. Now it's 60 years later looking back. Kinda funny how my mom remembers that. All the little things that I can't forget. But I'm thankful that I made it every step. And through the years, confronted so many fears, my feelings have been adjusted, I'm telling it to your ears. The elements of my tears are sentiments of the years that I spent with my peers. I remember. So that song actually was a collaboration. Thank you. It was a collaboration with a group from Vancouver, BC. And it was initially, I wrote it initially to share with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. But after hearing stories from my family, I felt it was very important for me to keep that in my family because as an Indigenous person who is Nakota and Cree, those oral traditions and oral histories have to stay in the family. So it's something I love to share with people. So what do I do when I go into schools? I write scripture for the future with kids, you know? I'm a true believer that everybody has good in them, regardless of the stuff that they've done. You know, we are not our thoughts. You know, if you think bad, that doesn't mean you act out on it. But everybody's a child. Everybody has a mother. Everybody's part of something. And the only way that I can relate to these kids, personally for me, is to come in and just drop a rhyme for them. And they're like, whoa, okay, you're cooler than Mr. Smith over here. So I'm going to end. I'm happy that this education journey, my music kind of slowed down. But I started a song, and I performed it at this year's Saskatchewan Arts Awards. And I wrote the first verse a couple months before I went to university, and I forgot about this song. But when I got offered to perform at the Saskatchewan Arts Awards, I finished the song when I was living in Ottawa last summer. So this is actually a song can take 6 years. There's a picture of me performing for Prince Charles and Camilla. This one's called Ira Hayes. I just want to thank you guys for spending some time here on Treaty 4 territory, and I hope you enjoyed yourself today. Thank you to the RPL and TED. Beat by Murky Waters. I'm like your counterpart, standing on a mountaintop, a mountain heart. It's so that speaking spoken words with spoken word. My speech is art, sounds absurd, but I play the part. Nowadays, I play the part as I'm spilling words like liquid at the bar. I'm getting nervous, I might take it too far. Start talking about some things that I wish I didn't do, or some things that I'm doing now, or things that I'm going through. It's like my mind's been darkened with tint. I still see bright, but it gets dark now and then. And negative forces of polarity make it hard to find clarity in this world filled with sin. We got a world filled with sin. Born winners usually choose to lose before they often win. That's why I'm usually snoozing when opportunity wants to get in. And the doorbell's always broken. Go figure that. Passed out on the couch, no money. Take a swig of that. Lifestyle of an Ira Hayes. These words are medicine for brighter days. Knock, knock, let us in. The medicine is here and it's better than it was back then. So knock, knock, let us in. Knock, knock, let us in. Knock, knock, let us in. The medicine is here and it's better than it was back then. So knock, knock, let us in. Knock, knock, let us in. I've reached the age where nowadays I like to reminisce, but not with animosity towards all those things I missed. Cause everything that I missed wound up with a twist, like not chasing my dream to rap. Presented me with the gift, a gift to understand where I was and where I am, and how did I get here so fast when that wasn't even the plan? Another reason for me to make it and keep believing, keep moving, continue to do what I believe in. Make music and use it to inspire some change. One song at a time, I'm rhyming to rid the pain or your pain. I acknowledge we ain't the same, but this world we're living in, you know, it's the same. We can't change that, but we could change fact. Get our acts together and shift up the game fast. Slow down, hit reset, and just get in the groove. I'm on that feel-good vibe, there ain't nothing to lose. There ain't nothing to lose on that feel-good vibe. Knock, knock, let us in. The medicine is here and it's better than it was back then. So knock, knock, let us in. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed your afternoon. Thank you to RPL and all you speakers.